Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nova. I will be your host this afternoon for the Monster Kitchen Academy live demo. So, before anything else, we would like to thank everyone sa katong nag-watch, katong nag-share sa first demo we had with Chef Cookie sa Avedra and her son Kyle. And for everyone who were able to guide through with it, we would love to hear from you. Post it on our page para makabalumi what happened to you. So, um, why we do this. Okay, so this is in line with our share the love, share the recipe campaign, and we aim to let you know that by staying home, staying healthy, and staying positive, we are with you in coping with this pandemic. And we wanted to positively change and empower you while staying at home and also be a light of encouragement to you to bake or cook together with the family. So, what will be our recipe for today? It's the Black Forest Cupcake. So, we believe we already have posted our recipe ahead of time para makadungan ta with our featured chef. So, hi chef, how are you?
Hello, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday too. I will have this one on you. Okay, take it away, Chef Allen.
Okay, so again, a warm welcome to everyone watching this live demo. This is actually the second day that we're doing this. So here at Monster Kitchen Academy, well, actually, I'm baking now in my home kitchen because obviously we are all under home quarantine, diba? So at Monster Kitchen Academy, we're doing this live baking demo series para at least maka-help me for those who want to make use of their time, who want to be productive, and for those nga who are bakers na, at least this is your chance para ma-brush up inyong knowledge sa inyong pag-bake kay siguro sa tuwa karon daghan may kanang wala kayo ng cancel of orders and mga nag-postpone. So at least maka-brush up ta og new skills pod. And for those pod nga kanang mga bago nga mag-bake, the recipe that we will be doing today, kaning Black Forest Cupcakes, this is very novice friendly. So if you're a beginner, wala pa jud ka nakakupot sukad og mga kitchen tools or bahala wala kay mga mixer or anything, it's very doable at home. And also, the ingredients that we will be using, these are all readily available po sa Tuang Monster Kitchen store. So if you're in Cagayan de Oro, you can download the Street Buy app and you can do your online orders and then they will deliver the ingredients directly sa inyong home. If you're from Iligan City like ako or sa Davao City, I think this month soon, Street Buy will also be rolling out their online services, tie up sa Monster Kitchen for the delivery sa itong mga ingredients so that it will be much easier for us. Di na ta gawas-gawas, di ba? Because ang ato ang kuan karon purpose is to stay home, stay safe, and make our time productive while we're at it. Okay, so before we start, we would just like to flash the ingredients that we will be needing for our baking session this afternoon. So if we can just flash the ingredients here on the screen, you can take a screenshot of it, and then you can also use it later on na pag review ninyo, mo inyong kodigo ninyo. If dili ninyo siya ma-catch, if dili ninyo ma-screenshot, so I think we should flash it karon. So those are all our ingredients. Like I said, I'm gonna review later on kay basin there are some of you nga mosulod later in the middle sa tuang session para at least maka-keep up with sila. Okay? So those are for the ingredients. Next is we discuss first unsa nga equipment atong kinahanglan. So, di ba I said earlier, dili man siya kinahanglan nga kanang specialized equipment yun. So you only need a few basic tools. So for example, we have here kaning rubber spatula nato. If you don't have a rubber spatula, you can just use a wooden spoon. And then you have your small paring knife. You have your right angled spatula. You have your scissors. You have spoons. Regular spoons will do. And you would also need an ice cream scooper. So I prefer using an ice cream scooper since we will be making cupcakes, no? It's because ang ice cream scooper manggod maka kuan ta tansya ta kung unsa ang exact nga measurement. So kuan na to, estimate na to, mapare-pareho og measurement tanan sa atong gipambutang. But the batter later on will be a bit wet, so it's really not a problem if wala mo ice cream scooper at home. You can just use any measuring cup, and then pwede ninyo siya i-pour later. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so if we can make closer para makita ang ingredients. So these are all our ingredients. We have first our dry ingredients are flour. Sorry, this is our flour. So ang dry ingredients nato, i-mix na nato daan atong flour, salt, and baking soda. So nana ni siya dire, it's been well sifted. And then our cocoa powder. And then for our wet ingredients, we have warm water. This has already been warmed. And then our sour cream. So ang sour cream, sometimes makuha ni siya nani available sa atong groceries or sa atong market, pero it's very expensive, and then usually mas dagko ang iyahang kuan mga bottles that it comes with. So we only need half cup of this recipe. To make your own sour cream, what you need to do is to add half cup of all-purpose cream and then add in half tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or lemon juice. And then you just mix it together, leave it to stand for maybe 5 minutes, and then after, pwede na nato magamit as substitute for sour cream. So that's a tip for you guys nga likabalo mo wala pa idea on saan bagay mo sour cream, you can use that method. Okay? And then we have our eggs, 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. We have our bittersweet chocolate. So ang chocolate that I'm using is a baking chocolate. We don't use the chocolate nga kanang ato ang ginakaon regularly, no? Even if as tempting as it may seem, kanang ganata magbutang og mga Cadbury, Hershey's, ana, that's not for baking. So we only use baking chocolate. In Monster Kitchen, we carry a lot of different brands aning bittersweet chocolate nato. So you can just feel free to choose any brand that you wish. And then we have our oil, we have our butter, we have our sugar, and this is granulated white sugar and our brown sugar. And of course, our vanilla. So that is for our cupcakes. So before anything else, we will sift first all the dry ingredients together. Okay. So like I said, no, kaganina ako nang gimix ang atong all-purpose flour o ang ato ang cocoa powder. Ato ang baking soda and salt. So now what's left for us to do is the mixture of flour and our cocoa powder, which we will sift together. So important kaayo nga ato siyang isift. It's because this can help prevent mga lumps. If we will be left with lumps during our, in our batter during baking, tendency is, ang atuang baked product will also become lumpy. So that's one thing that we're trying to avoid. So we sift it until it's, ideally you sift this 1-3 times gani, especially if you have cocoa powder. Okay, so let's use a spatula for this. And then once this is well sifted, Just set this one aside. See, you can see na yung mga lumps. So that's why it's very important to sift everything well together. Okay? So we set this one aside. And then for our wet ingredients, our sour cream and our warm water, we just set this aside. So first things first, we add in our sugar, granulated white sugar first. And then our brown sugar. So you might be wondering, anong duha ka kinds of sugar ang atong i-add, no? It's, I mean, chef, why not white sugar lang or just plain brown sugar lang ibutang nato? It's because you can be able to get the best of both worlds, aning duha ka kinds of sugar. Ang brown sugar, it gives us a more moist and tender na texture, and also gives us a better flavor of baked products. Whereas ang white sugar, it gives us better structure sa itong baked products. So if inimuha siya combined together, 50-50, then you get a nice na structure sa imong cake or sa imong cupcake. At the same time, it's not very dense. It's very moist and tender. So that's why we're adding both kinds of sugar. And then to it, we add the oil. The butter. And then the oil. Okay. So you will notice po no, nga here we're using oil and butter together. Sometimes maka-encounter mo recipes that use only butter. That's also okay because in that kind of recipe, they're using what we call creaming method, wherein we cream butter and sugar. So for this recipe, since we want it to be more moist, we're adding additional vegetable oil so that mas ma-moist pa siya. I also added in half teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so we put this in the mixer. So if you're doing this at home, I know most of us are using kanang mga hand mixers, no? You can use the attachment that you have, katong murag paddle, murag whisk attachment. You can use that one. So I will be demonstrating later on how to use the hand mixer also kay para friendly food for those who are baking from their homes. So this is at low speed, and then about mga 1 to 2 minutes, we increase the speed to medium. And then while that is beating, we melt the chocolate. So wala na melt daan ng kuan ang chocolate kay if we melt it in advance, muharden siya o dali. And usually if you're working in a cold environment, tendency is once imo na siya ibutang sa imong mixture, mag-produce siya mga lumps. So we melt it in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds. Okay. If you don't have a microwave, you can also do double boiler, wherein you have a pan of hot boiling water. You put another mixing bowl, and then with the chocolate inside, and you continue to stir it until it will become melted. But be careful not to overdo or burn it. Okay? So it's not yet melted. We add another 30 seconds. So I will explain po, no, I think you might notice na specify good sa itong ingredients na kinahanglan siya nga warm water at ibutang. So nga ng warm water, it's because if you're baking a cake or a cupcake nga kinahanglan o cocoa powder, the warm water helps it to mugawas ang rich chocolate flavor sa imong cocoa powder, as opposed to using just plain room temperature water or cold water. So I hope nadunggan po ninyo despite the background natin. Okay? So we mix it. Ito lang pagamay. Again, I cannot do that melting in advance because mo harden siya. That's why we're doing it a la minute. Okay? So I will show you also what the sour cream looks like. If you can, so you will see na naa siya yung separation na hitabo, no? So you have the sour cream and then you have a watery substance here. That's completely normal. Dili na siya pasabot na nadaot ang imuhang kuan sour cream. That's just the reaction of the acid to the creaming. Okay, so our chocolate is nice and melted. We can add this to our mixing bowl. Okay. So slowly add. Thank you for everyone na nag-tune in from all over the world. So I hope now we can learn from this. Okay, so you will see that the batter nato here, it will look like this. It will be wet. So don't worry about it. That's completely normal. That's because naman tay oil ana. That's why for those nga anad mag-bake nga kanang creaming method lang ginagamit bitaw, which is butter and sugar, dili galingon ani ang nawong niya. So it should be more fluffy if it's just plain butter. So next is we add in half of our dry ingredients. Okay. And then mix at low speed. And then we add in slowly our sour cream. You might also be wondering anong dili plain nga cream atong ibutang, no? It's because if plain lang nga cream atong ibutang, ang sourness man gud makahatag na siya og additional tenderness sa tuang baked products. That's why, especially if you're using chocolate-based recipes like cocoa powder, cocoa is an acid. So, I'm sorry, cocoa is alkaline. So, kinahanglan siya og acid para ma-neutralize iyahang flavor profile. And also mo bring out ang iyahang pagka-chocolate. Okay? So, we add the rest. And then slowly add in your warm water. So we add the rest kung napay nga binin. And then very careful, no, if you're mixing your cake batter, you should not overmix it because if ma-overmix siya, it will result in a very hard texture sa inyong cakes. Okay, so this is how it should look like. So it's very chocolatey. Okay, and then everything is mixed together. So what I like to do is I mix by hand na dayon. So we can mix by hand para sure ta nga dili ma-overmix ang atoang mixture. Okay? Sorry, dili ma-overmix ang atoang cupcake. So ato sa nang isang aside. Okay. And then we have our cupcake mold. So if you can see here, this is a standard size of cupcake mold. This is 3 ounces. So mo ni siyang usual na size nga makita ninyo if you buy it. If wala may cupcake mold, you can actually have it, palit mo katong mga cupcake liners na kanabit ang medyo gahion ang iyang ubos. So the one that I'm using now is kaning the paper liners na 3 ounces gihapon. It comes with naano siya available nga kanang the ones murag mas gahi ang iyahang ubos and then mas sturdy siya. So that really helps if wala mo inyong baking pan or cupcake mold. That really helps in para dili na mo mugawas to just buy the molder. Okay? So this recipe, by the way, yields about mga 24 to 30 cupcakes. If you're using a standard size like this one, this is size 20 nga scoop, siguro mga 24 cupcakes. So 1 scoop, and then you fill 2/3 full. So approximately 1 scoop na siya on a size 20 nga cupcake. Okay, so this is, if you can see here, this is 2/3 full. What I like to do is ako asang isa-isahon o butang tanan og 1 scoop, and then if naay extra, then I will distribute the extra batter para uniform ang measurement sa ato ang cupcakes. Okay? I'll just finish putting everything here. Okay? So as you can see, mas chocolate siya. It's because we use the warm water para mas mo deepen ang flavor sa ato ang chocolate. Like I said, if you don't have the scooper, you can just use a piping bag, put the batter inside, and then imura siya i-squirt, or use a measuring cup, or pwede spoon. Okay. So last two. So this is again 3-ounce size cupcakes. You can make mini cupcakes. You can also even use this recipe to make cakes. So substitute lang nimo ang pan. So this is our Black Forest nga cupcake recipe. So this goes into a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So mga 17 to 20 minutes should be done. How do you know it's done? I will show you. Okay, nakoy output dire. Okay. So after 20 minutes, we have here outputs of our Black Forest cupcakes. So if bago pa ni siyang kuan luto, ang paggawas nimo ani niya, you just let it rest inside the inside the molder niya for maybe 5 to 10 minutes on a cooling rack. It's because mag-continue pa na siya luto. So you don't you make sure na dili nimo ma-overbake because it will lead to a very hard na structure sa imong cupcake. So just a bit, mga 20 minutes, that should be fine. Kaya imo pa man siya igawas na pa additional 5 minutes na maluto siya sulod sa iyahang mold. And then you will know it's done if you put a toothpick inside, and then when the toothpick comes out na clean. Okay? Also, when you touch the top ani niya, mo spring back siya balik. I'm not sure if siya. Spring back siya. Okay? So that's done. Okay. So these are our cupcakes. Then proceed to the fun part of our cupcake decorating, which is putting the garnishes and the filling. So remember itong recipe nato sa filling, we use the cherries in the can, plus the water, plus the sugar, and the cornstarch. Actually, I already made it in advance. It looks like this. We add enough tanan. I put it in a saucepan, and then I let it simmer for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, just until ma-reduce lang siya, and until na siya consistency ng mga granulated. So the reason why I actually make in advance is obviously because we have time constraints. We cannot wait mga 20 minutes para ma-reduce siya. And at the same time, hindi ko na to siya mabutang dahil na init pa, like it's sugar. So it's very hot. If you put it in a cupcake diretso, madaot siya. So kinahanglan siya ma-overnight din siya overnight or at least 4 hours in the chiller. Okay? So the consistency should look like this. If you can check here. So more siya marmalade, more siya jam. No? So very straightforward recipe. Just mix everything again and then reduce until mahimo siya marmalade. So now we go to the filling part of our cupcakes. This is one of the fun parts now. If now my kids at home, you can ask them to do this. Of course, being very careful with the utensils that I will be using is not very nice. ways to make to put your frosting inside. The first method is to use a small paring knife. If you can just stir the knife, okay? Thank you. Get a small paring knife, and then you make a small hole at the center, just enough, okay, just enough na makarangan siya. I hope you can see this one. Okay? The shape of it. And then you can do the same for the rest. This is one method for filling your cupcakes. So this is very good. If you want cupcakes na kanang daghan tayo of filling, you can just put the filling directly back inside using your spoon. And just put it inside. So very generous the serving of filling. Ang disadvantage alang ani nga kuan procedure is that naa kay wastage, naa kay trimmings man, di ba? Katong atong gikat ani di naman nato mabalik. So if you're doing this at home, okay kayo kay kung naa kay mga family members nga hilig mag kaon og mga trimmings or mga kids, or you know, in my case, ang ako ang husband, he always eats all the trimmings that I do. So okay kaayo. It's a win-win situation. So okay ni siya nga method. If you're selling this, of course, you cannot afford to make any as much as possible dili ka magkuan wastage. You can do the second method, which is using the piping bag. So I've already put in filling inside here. And then using a round tip, regular round tip lang. Any size will do as long as round tip siya. Okay? You make imo siyang imurag ipisat dira sa sulod, and then you wiggle it around gamay para naa siya space for the filling, and then slowly come up while pressing down the filling pagsaka nimo. Okay? So, filled na siya. Again, we will do on the second cupcake, press, wiggle slightly, and then slowly work your way up while filling. Okay. The good thing about this is less ang wastage, but at the same time, less po ang filling nga masulod nimo. So it's completely up to you unsa nga method ang imuhang gamiton. Okay? So we set this aside since we have already filled all our cupcakes, and then we proceed to making our filling. Our frosting. So, okay, we go back to the frosting that we have already made the cupcakes. Yeah, and then we will make the frosting. We have here our 2 cups of whipping cream. So it has to be really cold para mo makuha nato ng alsa nga kinahanglan nato anang structure nga mo frost mo pipe gid siya tarong. We have our cherries. So I've already cut out the cherries. Kuha ni siya, the ones that come in the bottle, bitaw the one nga kanang na stem. Ako lang siyang gi-drain, make sure na ako nga mawala og ayo iyahang water, iyang sugar syrup, and then I cut into half. And then chocolate, which later on we will be using as shavings. And then we have our powdered sugar. So for this time, I will not be using my mixer. Kaya para makita sa itong mga home bakers, there unsa nga consistency ang kinahanglan nato when making whipped frosting using only a hand mixer. Okay?
Chef, someone is asking pala regarding the filling because we have a technicalities issue there. So I hope you could repeat the filling.
The filling, okay.
Yes.
So for filling, wala na ako gipakita ang procedure, no, because it's already made it in advance, because we cannot use it na init pa siya kayo. So using the ingredients listed, the cherries, the water, the cornstarch, and the sugar, just mix everything in a saucepan. And then after, you bring it to a simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until reduce siya. So because of the cornstarch and the sugar, later on, ma-develop yung consistency nga medyo mura siyang marmalade. If medyo kuna pa gani ba, abot na kag mga 15 to 20 minutes. If watery pa siya, then just continue to reduce it until makuha nimo ang more marmalade consistency. So ito lang standard is kung mura siya jam, mo na siya.
Okay. That's the marmalade consistency. Yummy. Okay.
Okay, and then I've already added the powdered sugar. This is already sifted na pod ha. And then, of course, our vanilla. Okay. Okay, this is our vanilla. Wait, ako saan siyang ipadapuli. So just mix everything. And then I'm using here, okay, if you can just come closer here. Thank you so much sa production team that consists of my husband and he's still doing this with me. So it's just the two of us. We're using a hand mixer, again, for the purpose nga katong mga home bakers, kabalon sa consistency, hindi pangita na to. So, pakian, ubos ko gamay. And then, start at low. This is low. And then, gradually work your way up to medium. Medium speed. And then, high speed. So, we're looking for a stiff peak consistency. I will show you later on the consistency and niya. Okay. Let's continue to whip. For those na hand mixer at home, you can use this one to whip your cream para di na mo masigig dalgona. Always. I know, di ba, trending dalgona. We're using the whipped cream currently. Okay. Continue to whip until frothy. So we have 3 stages. This is still at the soft peak. If you can see, mura pa siya ganayon. Okay? So we whip more. Okay. Tada! This is a stiff peak. So meaning stiff, ni hold siya siyang shape if you do it like that. So this one is ready na. Okay? Just set this aside. Actually, I have already prepared my my whipping cream. Kato siya ng consistency using that one. Ako na po siyang gibutang daan in a piping bag using a star tip. You can see. Any star tip. So, na ako other example here. This is a star tip. 1M star tip. Any star tip lang doesn't have to be 1M good mismo. This one I'm using a very big star tip para at least guwapo siya tanawon. Okay? So we get our cupcakes. And then the fun part begins. Again, if you have kids, pwede nimo ni isubo sa ilaha para at least na sila mabuhat. And then make sure lang na dili mahurot yung chocolate or cherries while at it. Okay. Sige. So, when frosting our cupcakes, our filled cupcakes, you start first from the edge of your cupcake. So, that's 12 o'clock. And then make a round swirl. Generous swirl. And then stop. Okay. So, I'll do it again. Start at the center. Round swirl. Okay. So we do the rest for the next 2 cupcakes. Round swirl. And then the last one. And then we have our cherries. Of course, Black Forest won't be Black Forest without cherries. Kay mo magini siya ang traditional nato sa Black Forest, no? It has to be with cherries. Actually, if you want to go really traditional good, you can put cherry brandy or Kirsch liquor The problem is not everyone can tolerate manggod alcohol sa ilahang baked products. So like if you have kids or if you have like mga elderly or people who simply don't like liquor, then you can choose to omit that one. But for the rest of us, nga ganahan nga na ay liquor sa atuang kuan, chocolate, sa atuang Black Forest, what you can do is before nato ibutang ning atuang whipping cream, we brush a bit of liquor para na siya yung depth of flavor. Okay, so that's just a tip. So you can make, you know, several for you and then several non-alcoholic for your kids. And then lastly, we use a peeler and then chocolate and then just put shavings on top. Okay. So pwede ka mo shave directly. Pwede po mo ibutang in a container and then you just sprinkle on top na lang dayon afterwards. Okay?
That looks really beautiful, Chef.
Thank you. I hope makakuha. I hope makahimo po ng mga viewers na to ani kay para makatilaw sad sila.
Yes, of course. And have it posted on our page ang ilahang finished products.
Yes, if you tried this recipe and then successful siya, you can send in your photos and yung output para at least makita nato and then we can all appreciate, you know, all the learnings that we have acquired today. Okay, so this is our Black Forest Cupcakes.
Oh. It is a beautiful one, no? Sometimes it's too beautiful, you don't want to touch it. Exactly.
For eating. I would just like to add, no, Black Forest Cupcakes, you're using whipping cream, so it's highly perishable. Because when you use whipping cream, it's only good for 24 hours. Madaot na din siya, especially with the kind of weather, the kind of humidity we have here in our country, na init kayo, dili gid siya pwede nga ibutang sa gawas, i-display. So, you can make the cupcakes lang in advance, imo na siyang i-fill, and then you can keep the cupcakes without the frosting for 3 to 5 days inside the chiller. And then kung ready na nimo siya i-serve, ay na nimo siya butangan sa imong frosting. Anyway, the frosting is very easy to do man pod. Padira it takes maybe mga pila ra ka minutes. So, alam minute na nimo ibutang before nimo serve. So, that's for the shelf life of your Black Forest cupcakes.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Okay. For those who miss out the ingredients and the procedure, we will have it flashed on the screen. For those who are still interested to have our schedule be updated on that, please like our page for the schedule and other updates. So this is again Nova, your host for today. So we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.